Good morning, everybody. Hey, welcome to Monday. Uh, as we head into this week, Friday was a great day, and in a reality, last week was a great week in the marketplace for the most parts. Today, the question is, can we continue? And you'll have to wait till Dave and I start talking here in just a minute. But I want to remind you, there's two things that I think are vitally important right now as we head into this end of the year. One is it's time to make sure that the risk you have in your portfolio matches up with your risk tolerance. And folks, that's not some questionnaire you fill out and say, yes, I'm conservative, I'm moderate. It's an actual number, a number that identifies with you 1 to 100. What is your risk number? That's why I developed the financial x-ray to put that number into place. Hey, give us a call. Let us help walk you through that process. 863-382-0037. Number two is taxes. We are still in the lowest tax environment that you and I will probably ever see in our lifetime. What are you doing to prepare to make sure that you retire and pay the lowest amount of taxes possible? Again, give us a call. Let us help walk you through that process to make sure you're on the right path to retirement. Hey, looking forward to my conversation with Dave here in just a few moments.
Point seven Light FM. Bon Jovi's there. Morning Dave is here. We're at 8:38 now. It's 22 before 9. Wow! Did things turn quick off the headlines this morning? There's another vaccine out there, and this one might even be better than Pfizer's. Let's go downtown and see what the impact is on finances. Pretty fair guess it's good. Phillip Statler's on the line from Statler Financial Services. Phillip, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Dave. Doing well today. You're right, man. We ended up last week really in good shape, positive on most quarters for the whole week. And now we get ready for a big bump. I mean, I don't know about you, but I looked at futures when I got up at 5 o'clock this morning, and they were green. They looked really nice. But man, about 6:45, the Dow doubled up, like from being up 200 to being up 450 to 500 points. So crazy bump this morning.
Oh, yeah. The announcement came out just about 7 o'clock this morning that Moderna, one of the other big pharma companies working on a vaccine for the coronavirus, had come out of late-stage trials with a 94.5% success rate. So that's step number one. It's even better than Pfizer. Step number two, the Moderna vaccine doesn't require being stored at like absolute zero temperatures in order to transport it. About the only thing that could be better is if we found out the Moderna vaccine doesn't give you a 24-hour sicko like the Pfizer one does, and we've got heaven on a plate, don't we?
Well, we do. I mean, yes, they had a better percentage effective rate, being up almost 95% effective. They also, you're right. The biggest thing, probably the biggest advantage right now for Moderna is transportation and storage, because I don't know if you remember, but Pfizer's product has to be at some sub number. I mean, it's got to be like 7 degrees or something like that to be able to keep it stored. And Moderna's is not in that situation. They have to keep it refrigerated, which is normal, but it can last in refrigeration, normal refrigeration, for up to 30 days. So I got to think that gives them a step up on Pfizer's vaccine.
Boy, I got to believe it. Yeah, the Pfizer vaccine basically has to be hard frozen in order to transport it. And, the usual mechanisms we've got for transporting things a couple of thousand miles don't really allow for that much cooling. But the Moderna vaccine, this stuff can be transported in your basic old everyday reefer truck and get away with it just fine. So the possibilities for a wide distribution of this vaccine, if it passes emergency authorization, much more possible than Pfizer's.
Absolutely, and it's really helping the stock out this morning. It's up 12.2% right now. It'll open up at a little over $100 a share, which will be a new 52-week high for them.
And I noticed that Pfizer is down by like 1.5% this morning.
Yeah, I'm sure you get a little competition out there, and it's going to put a little pressure on them.
Yeah, it does. It does. It does. Yeah, we ended up to set the table. The week ended up pretty darn good. Friday's close had the Dow up by 400 points. Nasdaq was up 120. S&P was up by over 48. All of them basically bumping their noses on or at records, and it looks like a pretty good cinch. Like this morning, we're going to open up with maybe all three indexes at a new record off of this Moderna vaccine bit of news, and that kind of. It kind of negates the only bit of macro news we start the morning out, because we really needed an economic boost. The New York Empire State Business Index came in. It was at 10.5 last month. And again, we always say with these indexes, they're calculated differently, so it's the direction, not necessarily the absolute number. 10.5 last month went down to 6.3 for this month, against expectations in the market that it was actually going to go up. So a shot in the arm, no pun intended, probably is a real good thing this morning, isn't it?
Well, it definitely is. And let's face it, that Northeast, they have struggled anyway. We thought they were bouncing back, but as the COVID numbers go up, their government's more oppressive, as I would say, and starts shutting things down. And so I think that's probably having some effect on that number. We also had a number come out on Friday. The Michigan sentiment number came out, consumer sentiment, and it was off by about 4 or 5 points too. As we look at what people feel in that area of the country, and they're starting to feel a little bit oppressed too. And it goes to the other thing I saw is that I think it was Michigan, Washington State are joining with the likes of Chicago and are instituting more stay-at-home orders.
Yep. Yeah. I was going to say, when you mentioned Michigan, that's another state with a governor that, keeping it nonpartisan, is more reactive to the increase in COVID bug. And, she's been talking about one step shy of a full shutdown again in Michigan, regardless of what they did to her in terms of the posse reactions the last time she did that.
Yeah, and so we'll have to see how all that plays out. I think that unfortunately we're going to see more and more of that. I mean, we hit record numbers of coronaviruses taking effect this last week. We've got more people in the hospitals now than I think we've ever had. And so those things don't look good, Dave, and they continue to put pressure on everything but the stock market, it looks like right now. And it's on hope, right? Hope that the vaccine comes out, hope that we get it done and get it out there quickly. The problem is even if you get it today, how long is it going to take before it really becomes effective? And I got to think that it's going to take a little bit of time.
I fear you're right. Yeah, even locally, we're talking about the upper tier states, but even locally, when we get our Monday report this morning, I was looking at the state reports. It looks like we're going to have well over 100 new cases logged in Highlands County just over this past weekend alone, and at least one more death recorded off of the national figures. So, yeah, this bug ain't over yet, and the vaccine can't come too soon.
No, it can. And we just got to remember that we need to be smart and do the things we need to do because it did work. I think we get complacent and then we start to just forget the things we need to be doing.
Understood. Yeah, the vaccine is going to be really important. Always keep in mind with folks that the stock market is considered a leading economic indicator. So when we see it going through the roof, even though we're saying, oh, geez, we're not over the bug here, that's optimism that we're actually going to end up seeing some progress in the near future. And this new virus is decidedly good news. Earnings season continues, and you got a few reports this morning to lead our week off with as well, don't you?
We do. Not all of them are household names, but still it gives an indication of what's happening. The first one is Casper Sleep, which doesn't mean anything to probably most anybody, but they're a mattress and bedding manufacturer, and their revenue was short of expectations as well as their earnings. They missed their earnings number by about 7 cents a share. They lost 40 cents a share. They're expected to lose about 33 cents a share. So not a good thing for them. they were hurt again by supply chain disruptions. And so they were getting beat up pretty bad when I looked a little while ago. They've made a little improvement. They're down only 8% right now compared to the 11% they were down earlier this morning.
Ouch. Yeah, if you can't sell mattresses, boy, you got everybody staying at home. You got a problem.
Yeah, exactly. And so then the other one I have is Palo Alto Networks, which is a cybersecurity company. They beat by about 30 cents a share. They revenue topped the estimates as well. They even raised their full year guidance and revenue, both earnings and revenue forecasts. So good things there for them. And they're trading up a little over 5% this morning.
That's one of the names. Well, I'm a techno geek to begin with. I actually recognize they're one of the big players in that industry. So resetting the table this morning. Like I said, big green day on Wall Street on Friday without good news coming out. It was not looking half bad this morning early on, and I don't have the instantaneous quotes that you get, Philip. 45 minutes before we open up, how green are we getting on that news about the Moderna vaccine?
Well, it's pretty good, but we do have kind of a mixed bag yet this morning, Dave. We got the Dow going crazy. It's up almost 1.5%, $436. We got the S&P 500 up almost 0.9%, $30. However, the Nasdaq has reversed course and is heading south right now. It's red. It's down about 0.4%, about $42. So it's going down right now as we're continuing to see a rotation out of some of the tech names that we've seen before. On the commodities, go ahead.
I was going to say on my news ticker, I was saying that a lot of the COVID sensitive stocks that benefited, like Zoom and whatnot, and a lot of those are on Nasdaq. They're getting sold off now on optimism that we're going to get through this bug. So Nasdaq doesn't shock me that much.
Right, exactly. And even though that seems to be the consensus, I believe that more and more people through this process are going to work from home. I mean, obviously, there's some people that have to come back, but more people will be working from home now just because of the benefits of that.
There's a lifestyle change that's taking place, and a lot of it ain't going to come back 100%.
You're right. So on the commodity side, Dave, we've got silver down 1.2%. We've got gold down 0.25%. Crude oil looking good this morning, Dave, up 4.25%. That's $1.71 up to $41.82 a barrel.
Not a bad place to be. It doesn't get too high, but it gets to the point where we can drill out west. Overseas markets, Japan and Hong Kong and the Asian Rim markets kind of were optimistic based upon our week last week. I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow morning. European stocks are responding real positively to our Moderna vaccine news. They're all up by well over 1.5% midway through their trading day. This is one of those times where we don't know, is it going to be irrational exuberance or not, whether these gains can stick. If you got a retirement coming up in the next 5 years, do you really want to take that chance on it? Philip, how do I find you to get the risk out of my portfolio?
You're so true, Dave. I mean, I tell people there's two things I think are vitally important right now. One is making sure that you know how much risk is in your portfolio via a number between 1 and 100. What does that number look like for you? And then taxes. Man, we are in the lowest tax brackets you and I will ever see in our lifetime. So what are you doing to make sure that your retirement is on the right tax track? Hey, give me a call. That's why we developed our financial x-ray. Give us a call at 863-382-0037. That's 863-382-0037. And then join us this weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Highlands News Talk 730.
And back here again tomorrow morning, same time with it up to the minute snapshot here on Light FM. Philip, thank you so much. Let's see if we can't keep the green ink going today and talk about records tomorrow. Fair enough?
Sounds good, man. We got a lot of economic news breaking out tomorrow. So stay tuned, folks. I'll talk to you then.
Got you covered. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services' very own Phillip Statler. If you owe
Hey, folks, I know we had a few technical difficulties today. Some of the little audio dropped in and out, but hey, thanks for joining us. I hope that you got something out of today's program. Remember, if you don't know how much risk you have in your portfolio, you need to pick up the phone and give us a call at 863-382-0037. That means if I asked you what your risk number is, you could tell me it's a 35. it's a 40, it's a 50. If you don't know, give us a call, 863-382-0037. Have a great day. I look forward to speaking to you again tomorrow.